This is the Comedy Food Truck Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Comedy Food Truck and subscribe to us on the Comedy Food Truck YouTube channel to see full video versions of each episode. You can find links to all of this at comedyfoodtruck.com. Like us, share us, subscribe, and leave a review. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show.
You're listening to the Comedy Food Truck Podcast. We talk life, food, relationships, and have fun with all of it. And now here's your host, comedian John Hill.
On a very special episode of Comedy Food Truck, a dramatic reading.
The scene is a mortician class. Students sit at rapt attention, and then instructor rolls a covered body in face down on a stainless steel table.
Good afternoon, class. My name is Scott. We have a lot to cover today, so let's get started.
The instructor throws back the covering, exposing a naked body on the table. He picks up a box of latex gloves. Stop it.
If you're going to be serious about pursuing this profession, you cannot be squeamish. Time to separate the serious from the curious.
He then tosses the box. You stop. He then tosses the box of latex gloves over his shoulder. After rolling up his sleeve, he plunges his index finger into the body's rectum, pulls it out, and puts it in his mouth. The entire class gasps. The teacher looks inquisitively around the room.
I can't say this line. Time to put your money where your mouth is. Or rather your finger.
One by one, each student reluctantly performs the same action as the teacher. After everyone has taken a turn and returned to their seats, the teacher exclaims,
Wow, I can't believe everybody went for it. Moving on now, I need to explain that actually, I'm not the teacher.
The teacher sprints out of the room, then the body jumps off of the table.
I'm not dead! And sprints out of the room.
Good night, everybody. Why is it out?
Put it away! Oh my gosh, what's going on?
And that's how Comedy Food Truck
Rolls.
went out of existence.
Oh,
Wrecked
boy.
him. Darn near killed him.
Oh boy. John.
I feel the need to explain. Sorry. My name's John. First of all, I had no reading in that whatsoever. Just a quick disclaimer. Secondly, I just want to explain that these are blind readings where the readers, with the exception of one, did not know what they were reading. And I don't even know. Is this like in another world? Is this a joke that you're converting into readings?
Yeah, it's jokes.
So it's like a straight joke, like you would be saying.
A joke, and I
yeah.
just converted into a
So there was there's a mortician class or whatever, and you just tell the joke like a normal joke normally.
Right.
Yeah, irregular. I mean, okay. The funniest part is just watching you guys read. I mean,
That's what makes it
it
funny.
was a really crazy joke, I guess, but that's weird. But this brings me to my topic for today. First of all, say hello, everybody, Jared.
Hello, everybody.
We'll
Jared.
go quickly through introductions. What's going on? What role did you play in that reading?
I was a teacher.
What's up, teacher Gator?
Hey, what's up?
Professor
What's
Gator?
up?
And Ray, thank you for bringing that wonderful piece of literature.
You're welcome. Hi.
Say hello, Ray. Seriously, guys, welcome to the show. Sorry if anybody's a little put off by that, but
we all are.
We all are, yes.
You're not alone.
I felt like quitting.
It was the best part. The best part was
I couldn't quit.
watching you laugh, and you're like, I can't say this line. I can't say this. But it does bring up something. Mortician's school or whatever. I'm assuming this is training people to be funeral directors or something. That could be scary. Mm-hmm. I could think about, like, is that the topic of our show today? Somebody help me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of what, fears?
Fears.
Yeah.
Okay, but we were talking about some other angle on this, right? Oh, yeah. Things you don't want to hear when you're home alone?
Yes.
Is that kind of what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And then maybe a bigger, so, what I'm trying to do is draw a connection from that crazy reading opening to a show.
Right.
Yeah, I already know there's somebody put in the feed, like, don't ever open the show like that again.
Yeah.
We're digging out of a hole is what we're doing right now.
Right. Literally. Right. A-hole.
See, there's always that point where that's enough, Scott. I mean, you always want to push it. That one more step. There may not be an FCC regulation for what we're doing right now, but
No, I didn't mean in that sense. Sorry.
no, you didn't at all. It's completely innocent and random. I had no idea that was going to come out that way. Anything we say at this point until we move on is going to be some weird reference back to that reading. All right.
A lot of our shows work out like that.
I know. It's crazy. I don't even know. Listen, I've been hearing stories about some of our listeners who pull over on the side of the road when they hear stuff. I've heard listeners who are at work and they lose it, spitting out your food, all kinds of craziness going on. And we're appreciative of giving you that type of laughter.
Yeah.
Really. And the one thing I know, and I want to thank you all, is that none of that happened over the last 6 minutes. So let's move on. Okay, so things you don't want to hear when you're home alone.
Right.
What do you guys got for that? Like, let's talk. What are some examples of things you don't want to hear when you're home alone? Because we came with this topic and everybody's excited, but now I want to hear what you have.
Well, you don't want to hear the shower running.
Why?
Because you're home alone if you're not in the shower. No?
I don't know.
You don't care?
Does your shower just run by itself? I mean, it just starts?
Yeah.
It's just a random starting of the
Not an
shower.
auto start.
I guess it depends.
On?
Who's in the shower?
What if nobody's in the shower?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You're home alone. So if your shower is on,
Then
and you're
that
home
means-
alone and you're not in the shower.
It means somebody else is in the shower.
Yeah.
So it depends on
Hopefully.
who's in the shower. Is it a friend or a foe? Is it somebody who means you harm? Is somebody...
Okay.
I'm just saying, there's no joke here. I'm just curious. Would you be immediately scared?
I
Like,
would
what would
be-
you do if you heard something in your house? You're home alone, you hear... Or is it home alone or just alone?
Home alone.
So you have to be home and alone. Not
Yes.
just like, I'm
like
in
you're
my
sit-
car
you're
driving
sitting
by
there watching-
myself.
No.
I'm
You're at home.
on a walk by myself. You're
home
just
alone.
home
in
alone.
your home by yourself.
So what would you do if you heard your shower run?
Grab my gun and go shoot somebody in that shower.
Yeah.
I'd fling open that curtain and go first and then bang,
way
bang,
to
bang.
It's one way to go.
Bang, bang.
Okay, what else? What else would be things that we would not want to hear if we were home alone?
Joe Pesci.
Just the voice of Joe
The
Pesci.
voice of Joe Pesci.
Just in your house.
Marv! Come down here, Marv!
That's hilarious.
Maybe the
Joe
microwave
Pesci.
going off. The microwave dinging.
Something starting or stopping on its own like that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a fan switching on in another room or something. I mean, that would be a little creepy.
Or hearing your-
lights going on in other rooms. Yeah.
Yeah, hearing your car start from the driveway.
Yeah, I came home one time when I was living with my parents, and I was the only one home. And the house was dark when I got home, and so I come in from the garage, and I got to check the whole house. I just have to. So I go through and turn on every single light, every single room, front to back, all the way back into my parents' room, into their and all the way back into their master bathroom and all that. And then as I go back out, I turn all the light switches off, right? Just click, click, click. Okay, everything's clear. Nobody's here. Nobody's in the house. And I get down to the end of the hallway, and I turn around and look down the hallway, and the light's on in the master bath. And I know I turned it off. So now I'm home alone going, I remember turning that off.
Wow.
So that kind of stuff, that creeps me out. So now I got to go back down. Okay. Somebody turn this back on? Yeah.
Right.
So that's spooky. That spooks me.
What about that time? I remember, Ray, you had time you walked in your house and you heard some scratching in the ceiling or something.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna ask
What
about
happened with
that.
that?
The hornets.
Wow. See, now you just,
Yeah.
you just,
It was, yeah.
what did he say in the news? You
You hooked it and then I just, yeah.
no, you led with the
hook.
something.
Yes.
Nah, news they caught something. But
yeah, there had been scratching on the ceiling in the living room for like weeks. And we thought it was some kind of rodent or something. And I came home one day and there was a little hole in the ceiling by myself. And there was hornets coming through the ceiling. And we ended up with a hole about a foot in diameter.
Oh man.
And just ripping they hatched and dug through the drywall into the house. And we took a nest out of there that filled like half a trash bag. Half a big, hefty trash bag.
Gosh.
Huge. I mean, thousands of these things, man. I ended up sleeping in the garage that night, and the next day I went and got like 5 cans of Hornet spray, went in the house, and like a gunslinger. I was just...
Wow.
I just killed all of them. Yep.
Did you dress up in like
Right?
a catcher's?
I put everything on, man. I was like taping up my gloves and sleeves, and yeah. Parents were out of town. My parents they were gone for like the weekend.
Yeah,
So by the time they got home, I was like, yeah, we had a little incident while you were gone.
yeah.
Well, they couldn't tell from the torn up ceiling and the dead wasp everywhere.
Yeah. Well, once they walked in the living room and saw that, I was smart enough to put plastic down and stuff when I started ripping the ceiling apart. But yeah, I just took that Hornet spray and just stuck it in the hole and just cranked it. And
Really?
They're falling out of the ceiling like, I don't know, like looks like just raining.
Like
Yeah.
stinging rain.
Raining dead bugs. Well, one bit me on my ear and one bit me on my hand when I was like, I'll just put tape over that hole. Yeah. I got up on a ladder with some tape.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the first plan.
But
That was
were they
plan A.
gone there? Or after that, they were gone? Or did you have to
We
get a
dug-
pesticide guy or whatever?
Well, we cleaned the whole thing out of the ceiling. Cleaned the whole thing out of the
You had
attic.
to, or did you call somebody to do
We
that?
did it. We just cranked. I just cranked it full of the spray and just killed them all. And then
Good
we had
wow.
to peel the drywall
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
It was like paper thin because they just dug through it. They just destroyed it. I mean,
Wow.
it's crazy.
Jeez.
I think the part that's lost in that story is you had to spend the whole night in a garage.
I slept.
That's not exactly easy.
I slept in my Jeep in the garage.
Oh, in your
Grabbed
Jeep.
some blankets and a pillow, and I was like, I ain't sleeping in the house.
Wow.
And I found if I turned a light on, they went to the light. So they were trying to get out. So I purposely left one light on to keep them in that one room. And when I came in the morning, sure enough, they were all in the windows by the morning. They were all up on the windows, and I just killed them all in the windows.
Wow.
Maybe you should have left the house door open with the porch light on and then nothing else. They would all went outside.
To go see the light.
Yeah, but they're all coming out of that stupid little hole. So
Yeah.
that would have went on for days. I mean, that's how many there were. I mean, it's just,
Well, you could still do the thing with the hole, but
well, yeah.
that night you could have slept in the house. They weren't going to come into your room if it was dark.
I didn't know that though. I just want nothing.
Another
After
reference-
getting bit on the ear and bit on the, I was like, I'm done.
I'd have left. Yeah, I'd have been gone. That's crazy. That's not a sound I want to hear.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Another reference to an a-hole, right? To an a-hole.
This would be a b-hole.
B-hole.
Yeah, b-hole.
A-hole. B-hole.
Man, you just had to go back there.
A hole. What about you?
Do you know the
John's
sound you
mouth.
don't? You know the sound you don't like when you're alone? Is the word alone. Because you can't leave well enough. Alone. I'm just playing.
What about you?
What about me?
Would you like to hear the toilet flushing when you're home by yourself?
Listen, I'm half deaf. I don't hear nothing. I don't know if it would make me nervous if I heard a toilet flush, because sometimes the plumbing does make weird sounds. So I don't know about that. Get out. Yeah, I mean, voices would be scary, obviously. I don't know. It's weird to me to think about that. If I'm home alone, I don't know. I mean, there's obviously 100,000 things that could, I guess, make you scared. I'm trying to find the funny, though.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm trying to think of a time when I was alone and maybe it would be funny. But
Maybe
I
if somebody else farted?
don't think that would be scary.
You just hear just some random fart out of nowhere.
No, what would be worse is if you didn't do any gas and you didn't hear no gas, but it starts stinking like gas.
That, yeah.
Then that means like a ghost, let one go.
Yep.
Right.
There's no ghosts. I'm not worried about that. I don't know. It's more about things I see than maybe things I hear. But is this something that happens regularly to you guys?
See, I hear it
are you alone and you hear things? that
More
make
at
you
work.
nervous?
I have some pretty creepy stuff going at work.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That I just have to
Yeah.
you just have to kind of dismiss it. and walk away from it.
I've been in churches late at night when it's dark and all that, and I don't want to hear stuff then.
Mm-hmm.
I know that.
Yep. The church I grew up in was like that, man. There's some crazy stuff happened there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, the attic at the old at the Rock of Life, the attic at the theater. Going up to turn the amps off.
Yeah, we used to have a church that was an old movie theater that got converted.
Don't look down the hallway. Don't look. Just walk. Just go
yeah,
straight.
if you had to go in the attic, that was weird.
That hallway was crazy.
And that didn't matter what time of day either, by the way.
Yep. You could be
You go in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I'm not going up there. You go up there and turn it off.
No, we're going up together and we're holding hands.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
And there was some like possessed pigeons up there too.
Scary place. Yeah, but they fly at you.
They did.
Yeah.
They were angry pigeons.
And I don't usually get scared, but I usually have to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have some
Yeah.
explanation.
To investigate.
But I
Yeah.
don't immediately jump to the worst conclusion, usually.
I do.
Yeah, your blood pressure or whatever, it goes up a little bit, and you're like, oh, what was that? And then you kind of search to that area and you figure it out, and then hopefully you have a solution. It's a little more grinding if you don't find anything to explain it, and then you're what was that?
Yeah.
That's a little crazy. I mean, I guess if you heard literal movement, obviously I'm not worried about like anything that's not human.
Right.
Rodents.
So if it
and
was
animals,
somebody who
yeah.
broke in, I guess, and there was some sound of that would make someone nervous, I suppose. But I'm not someone who gets necessarily freaked out by something that is potentially not human, like, a ghost or a demon or something. I'm not worried about that stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I go right to thinking there's somebody else in the house.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my who else?
Yeah, I
is
guess
in
so. If I
here
heard
with
something,
me?
if I heard something that would add up to someone being in the house, sure.
Yeah.
That would make you nervous.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm talking about, because I know this, this story didn't happen to me, but I know like when I was like 13 or something, I came down to visit my cousins and my grandparents and stuff, and my cousin Randy, who's a listener, was over at his house alone, and next thing you know, he's calling us to say, hey, I was just going into the restroom and somebody was climbing in through the bathroom window, and I was thinking, wow, that would have been horrible to see that, you know?
Yeah.
And so, he was like, I just was walking in there and I just see somebody climbing in through the window,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You guys are, I'm worried
When
about
you
the
got to
listeners.
go, man, you got to go. I mean,
Think about the listeners. Think about the listeners like, why did they do a show on this? Didn't we have something else that was going to add to this? Like, I guess unreasonable fears. Maybe that was it.
stuff that you.
What are unreasonable fears? What are fears that people would have that are unreasonable?
like a fear of clowns, like that kind of stuff.
How about-
there's no real foundation for.
What are you talking about? There's no foundation for that.
Okay, well, clowns are scary.
Every horror movie ever has a
True.
crazy, scary clown in it.
That's
I
true.
actually don't know why people, to be honest. Well, other than all I can think of is when you're young, having somebody dressed up like a clown running around, bouncing around would seem to me to be maybe just like the kids get scared of Santa Claus.
Yeah.
They start whiling and crying about Santa Claus. And you're like, why would they be scared of Santa Claus? Oh, maybe because it's some half-drunk guy dressed up with a beard and stuff.
Right.
I don't know.
Bad Santa.
Maybe it's the yellow stains on his shirt,
Ah.
Yeah.
yikes.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know, really. That is, at least, maybe not unreasonable, but just, it's kind of a weird thing, sure. But I could see it. I mean, I can understand why a kid would be terrified by something like that. But once you start watching horror movies, I definitely understand it.
Yeah.
Right.
There's some movie when I was younger, and I don't remember what it was, but there was like a clown underneath someone's bed. And they kept terrorizing this kid in his bed or something.
Yeah.
I can't, or maybe it was
Was that a Tales from the Dark Side?
Maybe it was that, or even what's that Twilight Zone thing or something. But there was something like that, and there was
Tales from the Crypt.
something.
That's
Yeah.
Some. But then, actually, tell you what's scary to me was one of the Twilight Zone episodes. Probably, maybe the scariest. Anyway, a lot of them were scary in a different way, not like terror scary, but more like, oh man,
Psychological.
like that one where they're doing the operation. They keep telling this girl they're going to fix her face or whatever.
Right, just beautiful.
And then they take it all off and like, oh, it didn't work, and she's beautiful, and everybody else is creepy looking.
like pigs.
Yeah, pig
Yeah.
faces.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was kind of like scary in a different way, but I understood the point. But actually, the William Shatner one where he's on the plane.
The Gremlin episode.
The moment that got me was when he gets real close to the window and it's been closed, and he goes like this, and the thing's right there.
Oh, that is the best, man. That was the best. It's
Right in
looking
your-
at him.
Yeah, and it's doing that. And even as I'm watching it, I backed up. Like, Shatner in the movie's like, oh. But even I'm like, oh my goodness, you know.
That is a great episode.
Yeah, and it looked like one of those Monchi cheese.
Yeah. Like a little. Yeah. It was like,
Do you remember those?
I do,
Remember
yes.
those Monchi cheese?
it's like half monkey, half bear.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a doll, but it's like, it looked like one of those.
Yeah.
I'm like, the Monchichi people are making. They watch Twilight Zone and they're doing. Yeah, and had a thumb that went in its mouth.
Yep, you can stick the thumb.
Just
in
like
its
the
mouth.
reading.
Wow.
But anyway, it all comes full circle.
Right.
But seriously, I mean, it's
Yeah, when
that
that
was
thing's right
scary.
at the window. Yeah.
Right. What else was scary? Like when you were younger, like as far as the very first, one of the things I saw that was really creepy to me was also the very first Elm Street.
Yes.
That one, like, and I'm not, well, obviously there's the classic, like Exorcist. I still won't watch that. I don't even watch clips. If I'm watching a TV show and the commercial comes on, they're advertising that. I don't care when it was made. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, freaks me out.
Yeah.
I immediately turned to TBN and watched Jana Paul Crouch because I'm like, I need to get myself out of this, scary thing. But
Oh my gosh.
but the idea of someone invading your dreams and then terrorizing you while you're sleeping,
Yeah.
Yeah.
was kind of scary to me at the time. I mean, I don't remember. I must have been probably late high school or something. I don't remember when.
Yeah,
it
I
came
was
out.
in high school. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was. Whew. And I'm not a horror guy. I don't like to. I have a couple friends who love to watch those kind of movies. I'm not into that at
I'm
all.
not either.
I don't need to try to purposely. First of all, most of them are cheesy and they're not as scary as people
Right.
think. And then secondly, the ones that are, I don't need that in my life.
Yeah.
I'm kind of stressed.
Too much.
I
Right.
really,
So-
I don't need it.
So we went to Not Scary Farm one time with some friends.
Yeah, that's another thing. See, that's unreasonable
And-
to me.
And it's the startling that the people like to be startled. Oh,
That's
somebody
the
jumps
issue.
out and you're
Right.
startled.
It's the same reason you want to go on
it's
a roller coaster. You just
but
want
it's
your adrenaline to go
Yeah,
way up.
but
Yeah.
to me, it's like that's not scared.
No, it's not
That's
scared.
startled.
Right.
Yeah.
What scared was when I walked in one of those dumb mazes
Oh.
and the dude is hiding in the corner and doesn't do anything. He
Right.
just stands there, and I almost walk right into him, and the hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I just stopped and I went, oh. I pointed and I was like, that was good, man. that was scary. You could come at me with a
Yeah.
chainsaw. You could
Yeah,
scream
yeah.
and yell at me. You could make all kinds of noise, and that will startle me. But that stuff, that's scary. What you just
Yeah.
But that's the issue. That's the issue of those kind of movies and even fear in general is like, a lot of movies default to just being startle tactics. Like you're just, I mean, they use the music and okay, it builds up and then, that's not really the same to me as scary. Like you said, scary or true fear. I think true fear is built up with suspense and then almost it's on your mind. Like they almost don't. I remember hearing about the making of Jaws.
yeah.
And they purposely didn't show the shark for most of the movie because it was more scary. And then once they did show the shark, it's not that it wasn't scary still, but it was so much more scary to hear the music
Right.
and know the thing was coming, but you didn't really see. You
Under
obviously
the
saw,
water.
get
the fear
somebody.
of the unknown.
Yeah, it's what you're not seeing really.
Right.
But Exorcist was scary for me only because there was some truth to it. Like I'm looking. That's the other thing. Things that are potentially true are also scary to me.
Right.
Versus things that are wildly not like a zombie movie. I don't care.
Yeah.
There's not going to be zombie. I'm not worried about that. So that's all startling. That's not a big deal.
Right.
Or it's just gross. Like it's just fear from gore.
Yeah.
Unnecessary
Ooh,
gore.
Yeah.
Right. But if it's something that's almost true, so like some of the movies where involve, say, like a serial killer or some of that kind of stuff is far more to me fearful. Even like Silence of the Lambs, things like that.
I'm thinking like
know?
like Signs.
That's
Signs,
exactly what I
yeah.
was thinking
That
about.
scene, that scene where he's looking out
Yeah,
the window
yeah.
and he's the thing's
Right.
on the roof and it
Right.
walks out. And it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
ah!
But that's also to me an example, though, that just broke my theory, which is I don't believe aliens. Sorry, write me a letter. I don't care. But there are no aliens. Sorry, guys. But I hate to break it to you, but there's no other life on other planets. And people are like, why? Because I believe in a God. And I know good and well that God didn't have multiple creations. And I also know that Jesus didn't go and die on every planet. So stop it. Wow. So I know somebody's going to be mad at me, but I know that. No way. You're so arrogant. Why? It's not that arrogant. It's God's arrogance, not mine. God said, I created one special being and it's sitting here on earth and we might be mucking it up, but he didn't turn. What if he got upset and did it somewhere else? No, he did not. Anyway.
Signs.
But my point is, even though that's unrealistic that there would be aliens, but in that movie, the way they build it, it's not so much. It is, but it's also just more of any type of invasion.
It's a creature movie, really.
Yeah, but any type of invasion, really, and it gets you because of that
But
suspense.
they also didn't show
much of the
No.
creature until the end.
Took a while.
They were
Yeah,
very-
and when they did, it was like,
Yeah, but
All right. That's
but even it was a little
Yeah.
intimidating though. You
Right.
Remember they showed that shot where you could see Joaquin Phoenix and he's holding it, and you could see how much taller and bigger the alien was. I was like, ooh man,
yeah.
honestly. But
They're
plus you have the
squared
whole
up.
faith crisis thing going through the whole
Right,
movie and
yeah,
everything else.
right.
It was I love that, but it was that kind of stuff is a little more to me scary, but not
Spooky.
so scary like Exorcist that I can't even watch it or even look at it again.
Yeah.
And even though the effects, special effects and all that are so cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the other movie that got me was Amityville Horror.
Oh, gosh.
But most of that was because I'd read the book. The book scared me more than the movie. But when I watched the movie, obviously that was also a little bit scary. But the book was
Poltergeist is like that, too.
Poltergeist, a little bit like that.
The book,
And again,
the book was wicked scary.
and again, like in that, you know, I know there's poltergeist, a ghost, whatever. But honestly, in my head, I'm like, well, that could be a demon. It's just people who aren't of faith are calling it a ghost, but it's probably a demon. But so then again, the realism comes in a little more, and you're like, okay, a little weird. But the movie was not as scary, right?
Yeah.
Is not nearly. So, yeah, no, I don't know. So I don't know if that's all reasonable. But is there any unreasonable fears you guys can think of? Is something that's like, why are people afraid of this?
All
Gluten?
kinds of stuff.
How about gluten?
Gluten.
That's something that's unreasonable.
Every time I see bread.
Man, I mean,
Wow.
really, why are people afraid of gluten? Why do they need gluten-free? I don't even understand it. I don't even understand it. Is there some medical survey that says gluten's bad or something? I don't understand.
Not to get too deep in the woods here because
Yeah.
we're a comedy show, but from what my understanding is that wheat now is not the same as it was like even 100 years ago.
Okay.
So the way it's
Interesting.
processed now is making more people sick.
Interesting.
They think.
That's the theory anyway, because it's been so
What about peanut allergies?
genetically. Same thing, I think. It's just the
Nice
genetic
shirt.
modifications that have
But
happened.
I've read
and
as
stuff.
many reports that say that yes, a lot of us are born, I guess, allergic, if you will, or whatever,
Right,
to
right.
something. I know it's lumped into fear because you're like, oh, I eat peanuts, and you get scared. But but I've also heard that if you just as a child push your child through that, they'll get over it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know it's kind of weird, like build a tolerance to peanuts. But my point is it also that we're just being a little too sensitive?
Could be.
With everything with these kids.
That's how I was with avocado. I mentioned that a couple shows
Yeah, you
ago.
said,
But
yeah,
yeah,
you just
I
powered through
ate
it.
my way through it. I don't get itchy when I eat avocado anymore.
And I understand a legitimate
Yeah.
sort of. I mean, I know people who eat a certain food and they balloon up and their face gets red.
Going to
and all that.
anaphylactic shock, that's a
Yeah,
bad thing.
I mean, obviously, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
Eat more peanuts. Eat your way through it, son.
Power through more.
Paddles.
Listen here, snowflake.
Yeah, right. No, I'm not. Here's a payday. Choke on it. I mean, I'm not saying that. I don't want to be insensitive to real stuff, but it's so hard for me to imagine that going from there was always a few. Even when I grew up, there were a couple kids that the things like peanuts or whatever would really get them. To now it feels like every kid.
Nut-free zone.
That can't
Yeah.
be.
There's a sign that says
Oh,
nut-free
boy.
zone. I don't go there, but that's the sign. That's the sign that we have on the doors in a lot of our classrooms. So it's nut-free zone. Yep. Do what you want with
Okay.
that. I'm gonna just let you just have that.
That's the girls' bathroom, isn't it?
That's the same joke I had in my head. Otherwise known as.
Let you just have.
Okay. That wasn't me that time.
No.
I can't get blamed for that one.
No. That's
John telepathically gave me that
I
one.
know. Also on a cleaner version,
I'm sending you.
everywhere that's not an insane asylum.
Yes. Yes.
Go sell your crazy someplace else. We're all stocked
We're all
up
stocked
here.
up here. That's the best line right there. We're all stocked up here. Well, I don't know. Maybe in the audience we have some unreasonable fears. I'm not sure. Or just fears that you have that you have never before been able to admit. And now this show has caused you to give up on life. And you're like, I'm just going to tell people. I was really hoping this show would help save you. And you listen to the initial reading and the rest of this show. And you're like, nobody's pulling over this week. Nobody's
They're pulling over to chuck their phones out there.
I'm switching over to that other podcast. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to think. I got to believe it. And again, 2 words would help this show. Show prep. But the point is
That's what makes it so great.
but fear in I don't mean to get super philosophical either, but fear in itself is a little bit unreasonable.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
I mean, if you think about it, right? I mean, it's because it is mostly in your head, and it is mostly something that you can control.
and being afraid doesn't accomplish anything.
Yeah. Now, I mean, obviously, if you're abducted, that's real fear.
Right.
If you're being abused, that's real fear. If they're, I mean, it's stuff like that. But I'm talking about, that's what I would say is unreasonable. It's like, you're not truly in danger. You're not truly this. You're not truly, then that is all in your head. And it's a little bit unreasonable just in and of itself. All of it is.
Yeah.
I really went dark though, didn't I? If you got abducted, if you're being abused.
Yeah,
Wow.
thanks. Yeah. Why don't you just go
Thanks for listening,
it.
everyone.
Right. If
You
you're
bring up
bought-
Dudley from Different Strokes again. That was comedy gold.
Hey, that was a special episode.
That was a lot of yucks in that episode.
There were not. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, that whatever that dude was, what is he? What was he, like a school teacher? What was that guy?
I don't even
I
remember.
think he was a teacher. I think he was.
I want to say he was a teacher or
Can't
something.
remember.
But anyhow, I just know I see his face. He was wasn't he on WKRP or something? He was
Johnny Fever.
No, it wasn't him. It was this is killing me. I can see the actor in my face, in my head, my face. I can see the actor in my face. I can see the actor in my head. It's me. No, it's I'm channeling him right now. I think it was WKRP. He was one of the guys on WKRP in the show, not on the
It's
show.
not Gordon Jump, is it?
Yeah,
Is it?
I think it was Gordon Jump.
Okay.
He's kind of a balding guy, a white guy
so.
that was kind of. I think that's who it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I think it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
That was
Wasn't he in
right.
WKRP? Was he in WKRP?
I can't remember. I haven't seen that show in so
Wasn't
long.
he was the head guy,
Howard
wasn't he?
Hesseman and Lonnie Anderson is the only ones I remember. From
Well,
that show.
yeah, Tim Reed. He was
Tim
cool.
Reed, okay.
Did the
Yeah.
nighttime DJ thing. He wasn't one of the DJs, but he was in the show. I
This
think.
like ran the
episode
station,
keeps
right?
coming.
Right,
He
I
was
think
the
he
head
ran
dude.
the
He was the
station.
head
I
dude.
think that's Gordon Jump. I could be
Yes.
wrong, but
And I think
the
he's
one who
the
threw
one.
the turkeys out of the helicopter.
And he's the one who did Dudley wrong. I mean, he's the one.
Oh, man.
I lost his job at the radio station.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
And in a desperate attempt for love, snagged
I'm
a
amazed
child
that
and
you
took
guys
pictures.
can all remember all these episodes.
It's because we grew up on. They made an impression on me that episode.
Oh,
first of
yeah.
all. And then I watched it. I just liked WKRP. It was a pretty funny show. But Les Nessman
That was a
with his
funny
fake walls and stuff.
Please
So
go
it's
through
just
the
stuff
door.
like that.
Use
What are
the
you
door.
talking about? You remember stuff?
Yeah, but not
You just
like
don't
that.
remember
You
this?
guys
Yes,
are
you
impressive.
do.
That's
Stop.
impressive.
Stop. You remember shows you used to watch. Come on.
Yeah, but I don't remember a lot of episodes and all that stuff.
Well, I don't remember all the other episodes of Different Strokes. I just remember the one where Dudley,
Yeah.
So far, you've picked out one
Had
of
funny
Twilight
pictures.
Zone.
because they freaked you out.
the
They
one
were-
that sticks
They're
out.
the ones that
Yeah.
made an impact on you. Remember that show, Night Gallery?
Oh,
guys
that
ever
was
see
a
that
good
one?
I
one.
never
I
watched
never
it. I
watched
couldn't
it.
do it.
Oh,
I
that
used
was
to watch
scary.
that
That was another
one.
Rod
Yeah.
Serling.
Yeah.
that
Was
was
it?
that was a darker
See, I
version.
didn't know that.
Oh, it was crazy,
I
man.
never watched it.
The other one I remember from, I'm sort of supposed to wrap the show up, but the other one that I remember from Twilight Zone was the one with Burgess Meredith, and I only remember it because he was in Rocky. And I remember watching it. Oh, that's Mickey.
Yeah.
And he,
Let me see if it's the same one I liked. Go.
it's the one with the, like he wanted to be alone or something, be left alone with his books or something.
Yep.
And then he also, he's the only guy in the world. And
There's
it's
an apocalypse, yeah.
Yeah, and
Uh-huh.
he's the only one. And at first he's super happy, but then he starts going nuts because there's no, and what happens? I don't even remember.
He has Coke bottle glasses.
That's what it is, and they break.
He has
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
He has stacks up all these
Yeah,
books, and
and
he
he's
sits
all ready.
down,
Right.
and he sits on his glasses,
Right.
Oh.
and he breaks his
And,
glasses.
it's like the show ends with him
That's
like,
the
"No!"
end of the
like
show,
as if
yeah.
there's no Walgreens in town. Like you can't go find another pair of glasses, bro.
Right.
Really, that's
Prescription.
Can't
unreasonable.
see. Can't
Yeah,
see his
but-
way to the store.
Please,
Can't see to make new glasses.
please. I need new glasses, Rock. Copy, Nick. I can't see. No, I can't see.
I lost my glasses.
I lost my glasses. That's why I'm a boxing trainer now.
Get in there, Rocco.
Now that you've won all these fights and you have a mansion, can I get some glasses? It's the worst Mickey impression ever.
Again, bordering on Harvey Firestein. I think it's the only impression you can do.
I only
Every
want some
impression you
glasses. Is
do.
that so wrong?
Come on, Rocco.
Rocco.
It would have been a totally different movie. As his trainer.
I'm gonna sit down with a Merlot and I'm gonna catch some Tale of Two Cities.
Is that so wrong?
That's so wrong.
Not saying it. Not saying it. I'll save it for after we cut.
Oh my
I had a
gosh.
Scott comment.
We're only allowed one per show. We're only
There you
allowed
go.
one per show.
Scott comments.
Show canceled.
We love you, Scott. We love you, man.
We do. We can't. Oh man, I'm serious. We do. Well, listen, guys, it's been 35 minutes of nothing, but we're gonna get out of here. And thank you guys for supporting us in spite of maybe some duds that we play once in a while. But
it
seriously,
makes the funnier.
It does. It was fun, and actually, we picked up some steam there. I love this idea of fear and remembering some stuff that might have actually scared you. I don't mind admitting I was a little intimidated by the first Jurassic Park, but anyway, I'm serious.
Oh, when they're in the
Well, just even when they're
in the car and
Yes.
the T-Rex is doing the
Yes.
thing with the flashlight.
But even before
I was
that,
terrified,
and
man.
they had that part where the water shook, and even though I was in the preview when I saw
yeah.
it, dude,
Yeah.
It was thank God for Jeff Goldblum.
Seriously.
Because in the midst of that, and you're freaking out, they're driving away. He's like, "Must go faster,
Faster.
faster," and he's like kicking the thing. But yeah, that was good. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Sorry, I've said this 4 times, but now we mean it. Everybody say goodbye.
Like us, leave
Anybody wanna
comments.
Beam it?
Sorry. Yeah, tell everybody.
Leave us comments and all that.
Do
stuff.
all the social media.
Subscribe to our
stuff.
YouTube channel.
Yes.
Right.
Let's all
YouTube.
point at the same time.
Where's
Yes.
Right. We're gonna go to our YouTube channels,
Our YouTube channel.
our Instagram channel, our Facebook channel. What else we got, Jarrett?
That's it.
That's
Before
it.
we say goodbye, I'd just like to mention, if you haven't connected yet, that we started and ended the show with a finger. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Audio's rolling.
Gotta get
Clap.
that gator vision.